Hello and welcome to the Buddy Build. Now, how confusing is that? There we go.
There we go.
Layout.
I almost had to. How's it going, everybody? Glad you could join us. I am currently, I'll be to the workbench here shortly, but I'm trying to research something at the moment.
What are you researching?
So I ordered these, which are the Yreka Focke-Wulf FW190A for 1/72nd scale. They are the cockpit placards, and I've never seen these before in my life. And thankfully, they were only $2, but I ended up paying like $6 in shipping. But this is essentially all it is. It's a piece of paper or a piece of clear plastic with the image on it. I'm not sure if that's actually how they're supposed to be. So kind of curious. And so I'm checking that. Hopefully I didn't get swindled. Because I'm not sure. I assume if this is how they are supposed to be, you cut them out. And it doesn't seem like that good of a detail to add up to put onto your kit. So yeah, if not, I mean, what was $2, you know? I don't know.
Well, while you're researching, we'll have a quick look through chat and see. We did have 2 people in, but one person's disappeared. We got Mark Shallard in saying hi, literally. She's not here at the moment. I will make my excuses now. Connor is due back soon. He's been at a fire station with beavers, so he will be coming back. No doubt going to jump on and take over from me for a little bit. And then there's me saying, hi, Mark, how many days left? And Mark has said, we've just had a leak in the cargo hold. Next time, do it over the side. And then Mark answering, there is 276 days left till Christmas.
Woohoo.
And then we've got me, but not me, Kalan, saying hello, everyone. And Kalan saying hello, everyone, again. We have Rascals Hobbies in, Eric saying howdy. And Mark saying hi to Lewis and Kalan, quite literally. Literally. Yeah, she'll be back soon, so we can continue the literally. So the buddy build for the Victory, I have done a little bit. I'm currently working on the cannons, the lower deck cannons, getting the wood bit painted. Let's see if I can multitask. Let's not drop the paintbrush on the floor. I have vast majority of my deck painted. I've just got the little bits to finish up, painting some bits black and whatnot. The gun deck is done. I've not painted all the cannons because you can't see the back end of them. When the top deck gets up put on, you'll never see them, so I'm not wasting paint. And then I have put the copper on the base of the hull. I did that basically because I needed to test my airbrush ready for this weekend, because I stripped it completely, compressor, airbrushed the lot, and when I put it back together I just needed to test it, so I just blasted some of the copper on there. And then the rest of it is going to get painted by hand to try and imitate how it would have looked back in the day. But yes, that's going to be fun to stick together because you have to put the decks in before you glue the 2 hull halves together, because it closes up at the top. You can't get the decks in without the hull being separate. So that will be a bit of a challenge. That's all I've done.
Looks good. Let's see. I'm going to switch over to that camera.
Put you full
And
screen.
haven't looked at this in a couple of weeks, so I don't remember. I do remember one of the last things I was working on was the cannons. I was drilling them out. So there's my hole. It's not glued together. It's just taped together so I could get an idea. Oh, and then I had to fix these guys because they came shipped. When it was shipped, they were broken off. And has she started the sales yet?
No, not yet.
No.
She'll leave it till last minute.
Yeah.
She's lastminute.com.
That was what I was wondering too on this deck. Was there anything like any thing that was supposed to go in between these, or are they just open?
What, the strut bits?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're just left open. The longboats and things all sit along across them.
Okay. Yeah, because I did put, you can't see it here, so we'll do this. So I put mesh screening for like a screen door in there. And it's a little crooked, which is going to bug me, but I'm going to leave it. And I just had to add a little bit of styrene strips here to just for that to lay in there. So I'm going to do the same thing here on the other side and put those in here pretty quick. And then you said you were going to change these on yours, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm going to try and add to some thread.
Okay.
Try.
Yeah, the reason I ended up keeping mine was because they add support and stability to it, it seems. But
yeah,
I do like that idea of putting actually using thread for the netting.
That's the plan anyway. Whether it goes that way, it's a different matter.
Yeah. And then there are 60 plus cannons on this?
Yeah, there's lots.
Lots and lots of them.
I just took the Dremel to it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
See, I don't have a Dremel anymore. My Dremel, I used to have a cordless one, and it just it was ancient.
How are you finding the kit so far?
It's been enjoyable. I'll say that. Other than the weird things that Revell did to it, like that. I mean, it's. I guess it's, I don't know. I don't know what I've enjoyed it. To me, it's just like any other kit. I mean, you're going to find your faults with it, but it's what you want to put into it. And that's where, like on the back here, I haven't even taken mine off, but you've gone ahead and started painting it. And the idea that I had, and just because there's like 3 or 4 different colors, that have to go into this little tiny space here. And then you also have to have the impression of windows. And I've been struggling with that. Just because I don't know. I think I know. I think I would have the patience to kind of do it and do it right, but I just don't really know how I'm going to go about it. So my thoughts on it were maybe trying to, and if I do this, I know I'm going to screw it up. But if I was to drill out each little tiny window pane, which there's hundreds of them, because it's so small. And then I'd have to square them up somehow and make it square, and then use the micro crystal clear to create the windows. But that would be just as much work, and possibly end up ruining it. It would be just as much work as trying to paint everything. So it's funny because in the pictures I see of it, those windows are painted kind of like almost a frosty white. And I don't know, yours, the way that you were doing yours, it was starting to look really good. So I don't know.
Yeah, I've mine.
Yeah,
I've sort of given up a little bit because I want to change the color. I did originally do it in gold, but the colors that's on the back also get mirrored around onto the side of the ship. So you got more windows just there, but here it's a black, yellow, or black, yellow, black, whichever way. It alternates, and it's also the same color as the details on the stern windows.
Oh yeah.
So I'm changing. I think I'm gonna end up stripping the stern of it off, stripping all the paint off, and starting again, and doing it instead of gold, doing it in a yellow.
Okay. I think that'll look better. It might pop a little bit.
Yeah. But when you mentioned about putting the windows out, it's like, oh, maybe. And then I thought, no, I'm not good enough to do that.
No, that would it in the long run, it would take just as long or longer. So
yeah, I see where you're coming from though. It is very time consuming filling in all them windows because you've got to take your time on it. As I found out, if you try and rush it, all the paint just leaks everywhere and it just messes up. And
it's just doing each and every single one of those little tiny window panes is what scares me.
Yeah. Yes. We have a few more comments. We've got Mark saying, hi, Eric, and Eric saying, hey, Mark. And Eric saying 2 ways to do rat lines. 1, tie off each individual line. 2, cut to length each line and dab glue to hold. I'm going to be doing it the second way. I'm not tying off each rat line. The first is time consuming. Yes. Yeah, so I'm literally going to be cutting off the section, strips off, and gluing them top and bottom, and then going on the vertical. Is it vertical or horizontal? Going the crossways, I'm going to be gluing straight across the lines. But I did get a package this week as well.
Did you?
Yeah. So I made a purchase and bought the 1400 Queen Mary 2.
Yeah.
And when I got it, I opened it up and I always check all the pieces are all right. There's nothing missing or anything like that. And it's the Revell limited edition one with the photo etch.
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't have any of the brass rods. So like the stanchions for the things like the horns and stuff like that, anything that's supposed to be a rod, they were all missing. And after weeks of communicating with the company I purchased it off, I got quite annoyed, and I emailed Revell themselves, and they sent the brass tubes out for me. So I have a complete kit now.
Nice.
Eric's saying both ways look really good and a whole lot better than the chunky plastic ones that come with the kit. And Eric needs to light his Queen Mary 2 as well. And then we have Kenny in saying, hey, everyone. Hello, Kenny.
How's it going, Kenny?
The star will be coming home shortly.
Oh, yeah.
And then he'll soon get told to go to bed because he's got school in the morning.
Oh, he's going to be so happy about that.
Oh, yes. And I'm in agreement. He needs to do another live stream soon.
Yeah. He definitely should. How much are you guys going to be able to stream for this weekend?
We can do vast majority of it, except we've got a meal, my mum's retirement meal and birthday meal on the Saturday night. So we're going to be doing Saturday afternoon. So Friday, Saturday morning and afternoon. And then again Sunday from about midday.
Okay.
But I think for me, I'm going to be sat at end of the table in restaurant with my model and paint. Because last year when we did it, I decided to do a 1/48 Super Hornet.
Ooh.
It's the Edward Superbug one.
Yeah.
So I went a bit OTT with that one. This year, I thought I'll go a bit more reserved. So I've got a smaller 1/48 kit, but then I've gone and decided to do it in a diorama.
Oh, nice.
So I've got all of that to do as well.
That's going to take some time.
Yeah, I've got 48 hours.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit confused with Nat's build. So is she going to be building it as a Warhammer kit? Or
that's her plan. So she's going to build it up as normal.
Okay.
And then she's going to see what time she's got. I think she's wanting to, in essence, Warhammer it up. But she's panicking a bit about the length of time she's going to have to do it.
Yeah. That I can understand that.
I mean, plus she's got food and meals to cook for me and whatnot. So she's got to factor in all of that time. So we got Eric saying, yes, I'll be lighting mine, and grats on getting your own QM2. Do you know, Queen Mary 2, I don't know if you know this, wasn't meant to be called Queen Mary 2. Oh, I can hear someone.
Hi.
Hi, Connor.
Say hi to Kalan.
Hi, Kalan.
How are you?
Very well. Can't believe you can't stop him my logo about.
Yeah, Kalan's been on your video, hasn't he?
What? Have you seen my videos yet?
Yeah, they're really good.
Hmm.
Well, Kalan did it.
I don't know if Mummy's got them on here yet.
No, I haven't.
No.
Oh yeah, I don't think she's posted it.
Outro? What's an outro?
Right, listen. Are we going to say the night to Daddy and Kalan?
Good
Good night.
Hold on.
night.
Oh, hold on.
Here you go.
Rascal's hobby set. Hey, Connor and hi, Rascal.
Hi, Eric.
Mark said, hi, Connor and Nat. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark. Okay. So, yeah, kisses
Okay.
for Daddy.
Mwah.
Good boy. Okay. Go on in, big boy.
Good night.
No, you can't put a timer on.
No, come on.
Hey, shush.
Quiet.
Yes, he's just got back in. Where have you been, Connor?
Beavers have a fire station.
And what did you see at the fire station? Was there an ambulance?
No,
Police car?
there was a fire car.
A fire car? Was there a fire engine?
Yeah, two.
Was there?
Who?
No, one was a fire van.
We know someone else that goes in fire engines to fight fires, Connor.
Kaden.
Got it in one.
Oh, you actually fight fires, Kaden?
Yeah, I do.
What?
So we
sorry.
actually have a fireman on our department that calls them fire cars too. He goes, he calls each one of them a fire car, except for the big ladder truck. That one he calls the truck.
Fire engine for the UK, Connor. Okay.
Did you get a go on any of them?
Only the fire engine.
You had to go on the fire engine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing tonight. Is I'm taking classes so I can drive them and operate them.
Oh, one more comment. Mark said, Connor, we know who now when that burns for pizza.
Thanks, Mark.
Does Mummy burn the pizza?
No.
No.
Thank you, Connor.
Chicago does.
Chicago does.
Chicago.
I said, yeah, we'll blame Chicago town, not Mummy. That works for me. Okay. Connor wants to tube at school tomorrow.
Right, night then, little man.
Good night.
Connor, Kayla's just said night.
Night.
Connor.
Yeah, so where was we? Queen Mary 2. Yes, so the Queen Mary 2 wasn't meant to be called Queen Mary 2. It's meant to be called Queen Mary. But the Queen christened her, and she christened her Queen Mary II. So Cunard was like, what are we going to do now then? Because they've got a long history of just reusing ships' names.
Yeah.
So because the Queen christened her Queen Mary II, they're like, is that Queen Mary or Queen Elizabeth? No, that was Queen Elizabeth. My apologies. I'll shut up about Queen Mary. It's Queen Elizabeth II that she named wrong.
That wouldn't be the first time.
No.
There was another. I was actually watching something the other day about. I can't remember if it was an American ship or if it was a British ship, but it got named the wrong. It was the president. I think it was the president of the U.S. had christened it the wrong name.
Yeah.
And so they just went with it, and it sounded better anyway. So they just went with it. Can't remember what it was though.
Pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do apologise. It was the QE2, Queen Elizabeth II, the Queen Elizabeth, because they were umming and ahhing over whether it was going to be QE2 or just Queen Elizabeth. And Cunard wanted to just call it Queen Elizabeth. So as the Queen come up to christen it, they gave her the piece of card of what it was called, and she decided to change it and call it Queen Elizabeth II. Ken is saying, crappy day, Kalan, but feeling better. Yes, I feel for you, Kenny. And Kenny's off to the post office, so I'll be listening to you guys as I drive. Not allowed to do that. And Eric is saying that's a funny bit of history on the ship, Lewis. Yes, I got the wrong ship, though. The Queen does have that prerogative. Yes, she gets to name them basically whatever she likes. No one can argue with her.
Prerogative.
Prerogative, yeah. Prerogative.
See,
I understand.
A right or privilege.
Yes.
I had to look it up. I haven't heard that in a while. It's funny because my wife, Melissa, she is a English major, and she also she when she was in college, she was worked for an editor, so she got paid to edit books and stuff. And she loves to read, but she likes to edit stuff, but she doesn't know like a lot. Like sometimes I'll say a word, and she's like, "What the hell does that mean?" Like, it's a word I heard. And I always make fun of her because I was like, "You're an English major, you should know." And she goes, "That's not English." She makes fun of me because I do pronounce words sometimes with a kind of different, like with a Canadian, I guess. Up in Washington, from where I'm from, I mean, I've had people say this to me before where they're like, one guy nailed it. He said, "Are you from Port Angeles?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm from that area." And he goes, and I said, "How could you tell?" And he goes, "Well, you have a wannabe Canadian accent." So I guess that's me.
Yes, I have a mixture of accents, apparently. So I'm originally from Lincolnshire. But I've lived in Yorkshire. Not for a vast majority, but I've lived there long enough to pick up some of the accent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very much how do Yorkshire people talk? I ought to have Nat down here, really. She's Yorkshire. So if you're going to say to make a cuppa, so you would say put the kettle on. I would say put kettle on. Miss out half the words in the sentence. But then if Connor or Paige say it, it's like, no, you're talking properly.
Yeah.
Eric is apologising for the big words. Don't apologise. Let's have an education before Nat comes down. Well, if you use the big words, tell us what the big words are going to be. We'll get rid of the comments. Then when Nat comes down, we can all pretend to educate Nat.
There we go.
Yeah. Because she is from Yorkshire. Nothing against people from Yorkshire, just Nat.
Oh, this isn't very exciting. I'm doing just drilling out the barrels. It's hard for me to do this on camera, though.
I got educated yesterday. I was picking Connor and Paige up from school. And one of the mums turned around and said that the child's turned around and says, "Oh, that is so chill." Like, you're on about chill. Like, oh, it's so chill. Like, what the hell does chill mean? Oh, it means cool. Why not just say cool?
Yeah.
Same amount of letters, same length of word.
Yeah.
It's like when the people say, "Oh, that's so sick." It's like, what are you on about sick? It's not poorly, is it?
Well, you know what the word puny means, right?
Small.
Yeah. And so me being from northern Washington State, puny always just meant small. It never meant ill or anything like that. And I'd never actually heard it used any other way until I met my wife. And her whole family and everybody here in this area, because other people say it too, but they'll say, "Oh, I'm feeling puny today." And they're saying that they aren't feeling well. I had never heard that at all until I moved down here. And it's like, well, that's an interesting way of just saying I don't feel good.
Yeah. Years ago, before Nat and I got married, when we was courting, so they say, Nat's mum, I said something and she called me a yellow belly. Now, you know what a yellow belly is, don't you?
I think so.
Yeah, basically a coward, someone that,
Oh, yeah.
Well, my reply to her calling me a yellow belly was thank you. Because people from Lincolnshire are known as yellow bellies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The reason for that is during like your Civil War eras when they used to wear like the bright red tunics, bright red jackets and everything in the army. Well, if you was from the it's actually called Lincolnshire. It's a district of South Holland in the UK. It's weird. So if you was in the South Holland regiment, on your shirt underneath your tunic, you would have a yellow belly. So the belly of the shirt was yellow. So they got known as yellow bellies. And before they would go into battle, they would open up the jackets and show off this bright yellow belly. So we're known as yellow bellies.
Huh.
So her mum thought she was insulting me when actually she was complimenting me. And then her mum didn't believe me, so she had to ask a taxi driver. The taxi driver said, yeah, he's right. We got Eric saying, I saw this comedian, Jimmy Carr, and he makes fun of Wales a lot. Yes, Jimmy Carr, I think, is epic.
Wales gets a lot of crap for some reason. Melissa and I watched a movie the other day, and I can't remember what it was called, but they were poking really a lot of fun at the Welsh.
Yes, the Welsh, it's full of sheep. That's the one place I really do not like to drive. Well, apart from London.
Yeah.
But Wales, it's like you're driving down the road and you'd see a road sign and it could be, I don't know, like services. Tell you next junction there's some services. Which, fine, not a problem. They say it in English, but they also say it in Welsh, which is a 12-letter word that I cannot pronounce. But that's all right, all being said. But they chop and change which language they use first. So some of the signs will have English first and then Welsh. Other signs will be Welsh first, then English. And if it's a fairly long sign, like, I don't know, telling you services and these other places so far ahead, they'll chop and change whether they put English or Welsh first. So you then have to read the whole lot, get rid of the stuff you don't need while you're doing 56 miles an hour down the road and still manage to read everything and take the correct turn.
Wow.
Eric saying, got to run, guys. Have a great stream, picking up the 3 kiddos from school. See you later, Eric. Take care, buddy.
See you later, Eric.
Mark saying, keeps you guessing, Lewis. Yes,
Yeah.
it certainly does. Certainly does. Countryside's nice, though.
Do they have a lot of one-lane roads?
Yeah. I think the thing with Wales is they're single lane roads. They're a lot windier than what the English ones are.
Okay.
You know, I went down some tiny roads, leaving one place, and it's like I'm going over cattle grids and the lot. Thankfully, it was about 1 o'clock in the morning, so there's no other traffic on the road.
There. If I put on my reading glasses, I should be able to do this so you guys can see it. Because this is so fascinating. Yeah, I don't know if you've watched any of the Dark Seas stuff yet.
Not yet. It is on my to watch list.
Yeah, I don't know. Whoever does the Dark Seas, they do really, really good productions of different incidents at sea. And there's like maritime horror or maritime disasters or something, another channel I've been watching, and then a few others. And it's interesting. A lot of the, because they go into the Coast Guard reviews of incidents, like with tankers and stuff like that. And they always say that crab fishing, like sailors swear up and down crab fishing is like the most dangerous, which is totally understandable. But the actual, the amount of incidents involving freighters and those large cargo ships is just, it's incredible. And there's a lot of freighters and stuff down at the bottom of the Great Lakes, like Lake Superior and Lake Erie and stuff. And I didn't know that. But
sorry.
No, go ahead.
There's a container ship stuck at the moment, isn't there?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, sister ship to Ever Given, the one that got stuck in the Suez Canal.
Yes. Okay.
It's sister ship to that is stuck somewhere in the US. It's ran aground. It's called Ever Forward, but it's not going forward at the moment.
No. And then the one that I was watching the other day kind of started out as a history of the K-class submarine. And I was not aware of Britain's history when it came to submarines. America has a pretty interesting history, as well as Germany. And so I started watching, because I'm not a big submarine fan. To me, they seem rather boring, but to be honest, I was quite surprised. So like the K class submarines that the UK originally started building back in it was early 1900s, and I didn't realize they were making submarines that early. And the whole history of it, and then what happened on the Battle of May Island and all that was just really fascinating to me. I didn't realize that at first, like, they were actually using steam engines to power a submarine. So the fact that they had to figure out how to shut down a boiler, close the entire thing off before it could submerge, and some of these were submerging in under a minute. And some of them, the K class, took 5 minutes for it to shut down before it could submerge. And so it kind of got me poking around a little bit more into submarines. And now they're actually, I'm a little bit more fascinated by submarines than I used to be honest. It's an interesting history.
Oh yes, I'm like you. I'm not a big submarine fan. I'm for battleships.
Yeah.
But But when you sent me it, I have watched that one actually. And it's like you say, it is fascinating how the British used the submarines, and like you say, the steam turbines on the K class, and then they also redesignated them, didn't they?
To an M class.
Yeah, which
they had massive. I can't remember how big the cannons were on them, but
it was something like a 20-inch gun or something, 20 or 22-inch gun.
Absolutely massive.
And then another one had a hangar for
a folded winged aircraft.
Yeah. Because I know the Japanese were toying with the idea of having a hangar on a submarine. But they decided to take 2 of their subs and basically strap them together and have a hangar between the 2.
Huh.
I think that got abandoned as well.
Yeah.
But I think also I might start sometime soon, because I said to Nat this afternoon, I want to do photo etch. I just got this urge to do photo etch, which is quite weird in itself. So I think sometime soon I am going to be starting the Prince of Wales.
Very nice.
Yeah. But my work in progress things are getting a bit high again.
Are you done with all the photo etch on the turpits?
Don't talk to me about the turpits.
Uh-oh.
It's bugging me. I can't find this front sheet of instructions for the photo etch. And Nat has printed me a couple off from the website, but I know the actual original sheet is around somewhere and I want it, and I'm not going to touch it until I get that instruction sheet.
Yeah. I wonder if it's in another box, like if it got placed into another box.
Yeah, you see, I've opened all the boxes in my stash, and I've looked through all of them because I don't have a very big stash.
Yeah.
And it's not there. I know I put it somewhere safe. I know it's definitely somewhere. It's not been binned or anything. I remember putting it somewhere. Just where I haven't got foggiest. It'll turn up.
Yeah.
But it's not getting done until it does.
Yeah, I still need to order the photo etch and resin for the hood, for the 1350 hood. And so I'm going to get that. I ordered the wooden decks, but they won't be here until April.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if the guy's like making them or what.
Is it scale decks?
Yeah,
they make them. I don't think they do them to order.
Okay.
But they do short runs of them.
Okay. So they might be waiting until they do a run.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I have heard they are absolutely phenomenal.
They looked really, really nice, and they weren't, I think there was about $40 for them, I think. I've been told that if you put them on, sometimes you have to sand down the deck a little bit.
Yeah.
So when I opened up the hood and looked at it, it looked like fairly nicely detailed. So at first I wasn't going to do it, but then I thought, you know what, I'm going to, because I really want to do the hood some justice.
Yeah.
And eventually when I build the 1/200 scale, I'll have some practice then with wooden decks.
See, that's what the Turpits was meant to be for me, for doing Titanic and the Missouri. But with me losing the instructions, like I say, it'll turn up.
Yeah.
Unless that's built Vindham.
Hopefully not.
You better not have. That'd be war.
So do you have all your barrels drilled out?
Yeah.
Did you drill all like 60 of them or whatever?
I don't think I've done them all just yet.
Okay.
I've done them all for the gun deck and the lower ones. Then there's some just to go on the top deck.
Oh, here's a question for you too. So you remember those two odd balls that go on the bow of the ship
Yeah.
that I thought might be harpoon guns?
Yeah.
So when I went to following the instructions, because you can only put you can only mount it one direction,
Mm-hmm.
and the way that it was mounting, it looked like it was facing the wrong direction.
Right.
Was yours?
I don't think so. Mine like angled. There we go. Do you mean these two at the front?
Yes.
Yeah. No, mine are pointing that way.
See, that looks backwards to me for some reason. Is it not?
No, you got the back of the cannon there and there that gets opened up.
Okay.
Not opened up. Your primer goes in the top, all goes through the end.
Oh, no. See, okay. Yeah, yours do look like they're facing the right direction. Mine looked like they were opposite of that. So maybe I just need to look at it again, and because I only took one off and maybe I just had it backwards. So it was probably a Kalan error and not a kit error.
I don't know. There's a few errors on the kit.
Yeah.
Nice big Revell stamp.
Yeah, that's just... I guess the Razor Crest has a big Revell stamped onto an outward-facing panel as well that people would see. I don't plan on doing the Razor Crest, though. I'm going to be doing... I want to do the only Star Wars one that I've seen that, because I just want to build it because it looks cool, is the Beskar armor in silver. I don't know. I don't know what the guy's name is, but he's some... If you guys can see, there is that stamp, and that deck is the upper top deck, which is visible. So why they couldn't put that on a lower deck, if they were going to stamp it, just stamp it in some place that you're not going to see it. I don't know.
I don't understand why these companies feel it necessary to put a stamp on it anyway.
Yeah. Because it's, to me, it's not like somebody's just going to steal their molds and...
No, and all we're going to do is come and take the stamp off.
Yeah. and just make our lives miserable.
Yeah.
I've never actually noticed the only time I've seen that before is on cars where it's stamped on the undercarriage of the car,
Yeah.
which, that's not too bad, because and with cars there's no amount of detail. When you're doing it on the deck of a ship where there's wood grained detail, that just made no sense whatsoever.
Oh, she's back.
Howdy, Nat.
Hey.
So Mark is just saying putting it somewhere safe is literally the worst place because you know you will forget where it is.
Especially in this house.
I think Nat's put it somewhere.
What you lost now?
My sanity.
What have you lost?
My sanity.
You never had any, my darling.
No, I married you. No, just about the Turpitz instructions. Because I sort of mentioned I might start the Prince of Wales.
Once you finish Victory. Ship.
Can you please say that a bit clearer?
For a ship.
Do you know, I might drop her in it.
I think this is the last of the pre-mounted cannons. And then I'm debating on I'm debating on gluing the barrels onto the other, what do they call them? The bases for a cannon. A stock? I don't know.
Pass. I'm not very clued up on.
Not it. I tell you, this is probably my favorite part of this build so far. I don't know why, but I like drilling holes in things. I remember when I was doing the exhaust for the Land Rover, it was kind of at a funny angle, but I was so proud of how it turned out, and nobody's ever really going to notice it.
But you know it's done. You know
I do. Yeah. So that's why I could never go to a model show, because I swear I would be nitpicking everybody's build. And then all the ones that were just absolute, I've seen, work that I'm just I don't even know how they could possibly do it. And it looks so amazing. And it just kind of makes you, like you've said before, it kind of makes you just why am I even doing this hobby?
I mean, I've said that I will never display a model at a model show.
Yeah, I don't think I'm good enough for that.
No. But I did say that, and I got called selfish for it. Purely because your work is good enough to display. But if you choose not to, you are depriving others from seeing your work.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
You absolute hypocrite.
What?
Oh, you want to take your shows to models?
I won't take my shows to models. No, I won't take my shows to
You want
models.
to take your models to shows?
No, I won't. And that's what I've just said.
My apologies.
Have you, so at Telford, you can enter kits there, right?
Yeah.
So have you ever thought about like taking the Belfast or anything, entering it?
Nat's thought about it. But it's that same old scenario. I've built it. I can see all the issues with it, all the problems, the faults. And to me, because I can see them, I assume everyone else can see them.
Mm-hmm.
So in my eyes, it's not good enough.
Does it cost money to enter stuff?
Nah. Does it cost to enter your models into Telford?
I don't think so. I don't know.
I just see, I'm so out of the loop that I guess there's all these different categories, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
And that's where I wouldn't know what category to enter anything into or stuff like that. Because even just for airplanes, there was that you were showing your video. You sent that video to me, and I was seeing there's all these different categories for. Actually, I think Nat had sent it from the Telford. I can't remember if you had done the video or somebody else had. But yeah, there's all the, like for just one genre, like say aircraft, there were like 6 or 7 different categories, and then for cars, there were even more.
Yeah.
You have like modified and all this other weird stuff, and so I wouldn't even know where to start.
No, and I think you can enter them into more than one category. So if your model will span over 2 or 3 different categories, you can enter them into them all.
Oh.
So say like you've got one that's out of the box. But in the actual box kit, it includes things like photo etch and stuff like that. It's like you can enter it into all the different categories for it.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of look at different groups that show their kits, and that's kind of all they're about is, building for show. And
Yeah.
I don't know, like I'm not quite there, and I don't know if I'll ever be there. And I could see the fun of it, because we used to raise and show cows, and to me, I kind of see that maybe that's the same appeal, because I loved showing cattle and doing all that at the but that was only a few fairs a year. You'd go and do that, and so I can kind of understand the drive and the why people would enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know if that's my thing. I've never been to a show, and so I think Telford will actually be the first one that I'll have ever gone to, unless we go to something here in the States. Like a lot of people are going to Wonderfest. I don't even know what Wonderfest is. and I doubt Melissa would want to go. I don't know. She's been to a few different conventions and stuff for like supernatural, but you know, like these Comic-Con stuff, like things like that, neither one of us are interested in those. And that's kind of what I feel like Wonderfest is, kind of like a Comic-Con, but I could be totally wrong.
I've never heard of it, so I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah, it's a lot of the guys from HLI were talking about going, but now with the cost of fuel going out of control, is the only way to put it. Like for companies like yours, I don't understand how they're going to be able to really stay afloat if they're having to pay almost 4 times as much for fuel as they used to. Because that really, it not only does it hurt the citizens, but when you're talking about a company that is all transportation related, I mean, that digs deep into their pockets and, you know, the driver's pockets sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, the company I work for is just that vast anyway.
Yeah.
Like they'll just charge the customers more for it.
Oh, that's true.
So, but I know what you're saying, because I filled up before it all kicked off, filling up about 250 to 300 litres of diesel would cost in the region of £400 to £500.
Wow.
Now it's costing in the region of 700 to 800.
No kidding. Yeah, my truck was, so I have a diesel, and my truck has a 40-gallon fuel tank, and it was at 3/4 of a tank. And so I figured, well, I should just go ahead and fill it up again because the cost of gas is going up so quickly. And I put in 1/4 of a tank, and that was roughly about almost 10 gallons. And it cost me $60. $60 for 10 gallons.
Ouch.
Yeah.
We've just had a bit of relief, so they say.
By getting rid of the rental.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, our government has decided to reduce our fuel by 5p a litre.
Oh, wow. 5 cents.
So nice of them.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got Eric is back. When I find my mouse, there we go. Eric saying, I'm back.
Welcome back, Eric.
And Mark Shellard, I think this one's for Nat. Nat, can you come and read this one for me?
Ha ha ha.
Can you read it?
Welcome back, Eric.
Do you need a bit of help? Yeah, Eric's helped you out, look. There you go. Can you hey, come on.
Literally. Happy now?
No.
Yeah, the nice thing about our town, though, is Melissa, if it came down to it, we could both walk to work. We are so close to everything.
Yeah. See, where we live, we have to have a car.
Yeah. I mean, for to go to go to Costco or to go any, for any substantial groceries that we can't get here in town. I mean, we have to drive an hour away. But if we, did that maybe once a month and stocked up, I think we'd be fine. Oh man, I knew I was going to do that. I blew through the back of it. That's okay. That's an easy fix. Nobody will ever know.
Except everyone that watches the live stream.
Yeah.
Just bear with me 2 minutes.
There we go. Put a tiny bit of sprue goo on there. Now I just have all of these barrels to do, which should be fun. I'm really debating on whether or not I'm going to install these onto the little blocks that the cannons sit on. Which, let's see, I'm trying, where's that sprue at? There they are.
Sorry about that.
No worries. Did you mount your barrels on before you painted them?
Yeah.
I think that's probably going to be the easiest way to do this.
Yeah. Did it so I've got something bigger to hold on to.
Yeah. Well, and the ones that are on the deck, should I just go ahead and glue those on?
Yeah, on the gun deck. Yeah, I literally glued all the barrels on and then painted them.
Okay. Might be easier to drill them out that way too. I don't know.
I drilled them out
First.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm running out of these little cosmetic containers. These sure do come in handy though.
Oh, yes.
I like the ones you have. They're deeper. Mine are really shallow.
Yeah, I mean, I got mine come from like a shop called Poundland.
Oh,
You get different sizes. So I've got some of the shallow ones and some of the deeper ones.
okay.
Need to find some sand tomorrow as well.
For your diorama.
Yeah.
Ow. That's something I need to do too. I was looking for some different gravel, and that's something that every now and then the dollar store will carry it. It's in their craft section.
Yeah.
They carry, occasionally they'll have stuff that you can use for dioramas and stuff. But I need to get some of that styrofoam that you can make walls and stuff out of.
I got some polystyrene.
Mm-hmm.
Basically went to a builder's merchant, or I'm not sure hardware stores would do them so much. Yours might. But they get things in like they get like sheets of polystyrene or insulation, things like that. And it comes in square blocks. Not got one to hand. And it sits on these square blocks of polystyrene. And once they've offloaded or used all of them up, sold them all, they've just got these strips of about 1.5 meters length of polystyrene that they just throw out. So they gave me them.
Nice. Yeah, those work great.
Yeah, one of my sheds is full of these strips of polystyrene. So people's got stashes of hundreds of models that will last them a lifetime and more. I've got strips of polystyrene that will last me a lifetime and more. Because I don't often build. It's not often I do a diorama.
Yeah.
More of a build a model and put it on the display stand.
Yeah, these that's one thing I've noticed with these barrels too, is sometimes it would be very difficult to show this on camera, but the top half of the mold doesn't line up with the bottom half of the mold.
Yeah. It's like the mold's just slipped.
Yeah. It's really interesting.
See, I sort of took a shortcut on it. I've got the ends of them as best I can. Took the seam line out from like there onwards to the front, and not bothered with any of this back, because you're not going to see it in the, once it's all buttoned up and whatnot, you're not going to see the back of it.
True. Just gonna forego the nippers and just twist them off.
Remember doing that as a kid.
I think when I was a kid, I didn't even have nippers. I just broke everything off the sprue and
See, I just used a craft knife. That's what I had. Whether I used it or not is a different matter. Just twist as much as you can until it comes off.
yep. What scale is your Apollo? Or was it? It was the Apollo, right? Not a Saturn.
No, the Saturn.
It is a Saturn.
5. Yeah.
Okay. What scale do you think that is?
That is 1/96.
Okay. I keep seeing the 1144
Yeah.
scale, and I'm trying to picture just how big that one is. It doesn't, probably maybe a foot or foot and a half tall, maybe.
1/96 was, I think, 1 point. It's over a meter tall. Mine.
Yeah.
Forget how tall Paige was. It's about
Yeah.
the same height. About the same height as a 6-year-old. Let's have a quick butchers. It's 77 centimeters high, or 30 inches.
Okay. And was yours the Revell?
Yeah. So mine is 1.14 meters.
Wow.
But I wouldn't do small. I try and go for the largest kit available in anything. That keeps saying I'm compensating.
I'm trying to think of, I think it's the Lady Washington. Shu would know. The Lady Washington is a tall ship that was actually in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. And she's usually in Bremerton, kind of where Shu lives. But I'm trying to think if they ever did a model kit of the Lady Washington, and I thought they had, but she's not very big. Kind of like the Jolly Roger size, I would say.
So,
And then they saw the Constitution. Heller had made the Constitution. And that was a nice ship. That was a big one, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. Lady Washington, eBay has got it for £330.
Wow.
That's a wooden model.
No kidding. That's eBay prices, though. Yeah, it would be fun to do a wooden ship here at some point. The ones on Ockre, OCCRE, I can't remember where they're located, but they have some very reasonable prices, and their wooden Titanic, I think it's 1/250 scale or 1/300 scale, and it's actually a pretty reasonable price too, and that one's all wood. But they had some other really nice kits, and they go from, you have like intermediate, beginner, and expert, depending on, they have different options, and you can buy the different kits, and they're not that expensive. And so I was thinking about maybe saving up and just ordering one for now, just to maybe start tinkering around with the wood, because I've always wanted to build a really nice wooden ship.
Yeah, it's certainly something I would like to do, but I think, like I say, all the ones that I've seen are Partworks.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing Partworks.
I was told even with the Victory that Hachette, was it Hachette that had it?
D'Agostini.
D'Agostini. Like, even if you were to buy the full kit, it would take you like 6 years to complete.
That wouldn't surprise me.
which to me is totally fine
Yeah.
with a build like that, because you're really I feel like you're maybe putting a lot of it's different detail, but everything is just, every board is hand laid.
Yeah. You got to bend some of them, and
Yeah. And my grandfather, he taught me the whole, because he rebuilt a couple of boats when I was a kid, and that's kind of what got me into it. And he taught me how to bend planks just by using steam, and he built this little, basically a little contraption that would that would get it kind of steam everything, and then he would have the boards weighed down, and so they would bend just right.
Yeah.
And I actually on his boat that I have in my storage shed that I'm rebuilding, I have a couple of it's sapele hardwood that I milled down to the boards that I needed, and I still have to bend those, but it's like that I don't have this like the space to do it. I guess I kind of do, but I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna pull that off at some point. And that one, it's got a lot of fiberglass and wood, so it's a combo. And the fiberglassing, that is going to be a messy experiment. I've only worked with fiberglass once, and that was on this one boat that I restored years and years ago. And it was a small area I had to fix. And this, like, I'm gonna have to put fiberglass, like all the runners and everything.
Yeah. Well, we've been going for an hour and 36 minutes. So I don't know how much longer you want to go for, Kalan.
It's up to you. I'm good with I just have training tonight.
Yeah.
At 6. So if you want to go for another half hour or an hour, I'm good with either.
Yeah. We'll go for the 2-hour mark then, if that's all right for you.
Yeah.
And then...
Perfect. Yeah, I'll just be drilling holes.
Yeah, I'm sort of giving up on the cannons at the moment. It's killing my eyes. To be honest, I know what I can do. No, I can't. So when you do your training, do you have like a tower that you set on fire and you've got to do like rescues out of it?
So yeah, we actually do. Our department years ago down at this county or at the city yard, they built so we have a 4-story tower because we're one of only 2 departments in our entire county that has a ladder truck.
Right.
And they used to have it set up to where everything all the props were, propane was fed to them and all this. Well, that system quit working. So we're actually in the middle of trying to get a grant to rebuild that entire training facility.
Right.
And then get all the other departments and all the other volunteer departments in the area can use it as well, because we're actually kind of seeing a need for more mutual, like department to department training, so that we're all kind of on the same page, because we give mutual aid to other agencies a lot, and we help each other out. And tonight's training is actually just for me to get my red card, which is needed for wildland fires. But it's classroom time, because I have to learn everything so I can be a driver operator on a strike team and on a wildland incident.
Right.
So in order to have because we have to get our they call it a Class A license here. Where I'm from in Washington, it was a Class C license, which is basically your commercial trucker's license.
Yeah.
And so now they changed the laws, so we have to have that. And then we also have to have operator training on the actual fire engine itself, so that we know how to operate it properly, and all the pumps and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm doing that right now, but I won't be able to get signed off on my driving until after I'm healed from my surgery. So
Yeah.
but it's one of those things that these classes don't come along very often, and we got the opportunity to do all the classes and training at our fire department with other agencies. And so every Thursday we're doing that. It's for a couple months. It's a long course.
Yeah.
And so it's just one more credential to have on my certifications. But every week we do training on Mondays, and that's when we practice rescues and different things like that. And we get cars from the local I don't know, the junkyard or whatever.
Yeah.
And we'll practice rescues with those. And then I couldn't do it because I'm injured, but a few months ago, or about a month ago, everybody did the one training I wanted the most. It was ropes training and going. So like if you have a vehicle over a cliff, because we have a lot of those here. And recently we've had 2 incidents where they had to rappel 100 feet down to a vehicle that went off a cliff into the river. And so we had training for that, but of course I couldn't do it. And I was so bummed, because that's one of the things that I've always wanted to do, the rescue training and stuff with where you're going over a cliff or going, do the whole ropes course thing. Because I don't know why, but that seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it.
And I'm a scuba diver, but we have select scuba teams with the sheriff's office. So usually the divers are with the sheriff's office, and they don't really have that search and rescue feature like a lot of places have. For some reason, just people lost interest in it. And I don't know what it is, but yeah, like people just don't want to volunteer their time for the greater good anymore. It's like mentalities have changed, I guess.
Yeah. Very each for themselves.
Yeah. I mean, it used to be really hard to get onto a volunteer fire department, and now we're begging for people.
Well, pay for my airfare and I'll come over and do it.
Yeah.
Each time you get called out, I'll jump on a plane.
Lewis will sign him up. He's on a plane.
And we have volunteer fire stations, but we also have the RNLI, which they're all volunteers themselves. So they'll go out. If there's an incident at sea, they're the ones that will go out and rescue.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's a bit like what your Coast Guard does.
Mm-hmm.
But your Coast Guard also protects.
They are part of Homeland Security.
Yeah. So we have, in essence, a Coast Guard type thing. But we also have the RNLI, which is just for like search and rescue type thing.
Okay.
They are all volunteers.
Really?
Yeah, and it's all done off charity. It's basically a charity. They have some quite sophisticated bits of equipment, the boats and everything. They're just phenomenal. I mean, where we live at Skeg, they've just got a new boat, new tractor, a new trailer.
Wow.
So this boat, it's an all-weather boat, so it'll go out in whatever conditions. It's launched off the beach. If it capsizes, it can right itself. It's got all these different facilities, all these technology built into it.
Mm-hmm.
But also, if it needs to come back into, well, when it comes back into shore, it can literally come straight up onto the beach itself, and the trailer will scoop underneath it and pick the whole lot up off the beach.
No kidding.
And
That's
it's all
cool.
paid by charity, members of the public. There's obviously they'll get the grants and everything, but there is nothing from our central government that supports it.
Wow.
You can go and look round it and everything.
How often do they get called out?
Dependent, really. Obviously, the last couple of years hasn't been so busy. But I think probably 20 to 30 times in a season.
That's actually a lot of use.
Yeah. I mean, also they go out if there's a swimmer or someone stranded, they'll use the inshore inflatable lifeboat. But if it's a bigger job, like there's a ship in distress or something, they'll use the all-weather one. And it can go miles out. It's not just limited to this area.
Yeah.
It needs to go help someone down the coast and whatnot, it'll go. But they're quite phenomenal chaps that do it.
And is that something that just anybody can join up?
Yeah, I mean, you can volunteer for it. They have their selection process that you have to go through. I wouldn't be able to do it because of my back condition and whatnot.
That's too bad.
And my job wouldn't allow it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But we also have someone new just join us. We've got Eric from Twisted Rail Hobbies. saying evening, everyone. Hi, Lewis and Kalan.
Hi, Eric.
Evening. We're looking at going for another 10 minutes because I'm sort of hit a wall with the cannons at the moment.
Yeah, these cannons are going to take some work.
Oh, yes. I think they're a big mojo killer.
Yeah, the Land Rover is back in her box. I need to get some flat clear, the Tamiya flat clear.
Mm.
I do have some of the All-Clad 2 flat, but
Yeah.
I'm worried about spraying it on top of the Tamiya acrylic, and I've been told it'll be fine, but since somebody's going to be purchasing the kit from me or the finished model, I think I'll just stick with the Tamiya flat clear.
Yeah. Better to be safe than sorry.
Yeah. How's the dog?
Yeah, she's a lot better now. She had a lump underneath her neck. It's gone down. The vet thinks it was a abscess, not an abscess, an infection. Fever's gone down. She's eating again now.
That's good.
So she got another, when she went this last Monday, she had another 10 days antibiotics, and then she was going to go in and see the vet again. So yeah, she's a lot better.
How old is she?
She's 4.
She's still a baby.
Yes.
Wow.
You know it.
Yeah, so we have Sailor, who is he's a terrier Chihuahua mix. So I call him the terrorist because he has the worst qualities of both. And he is just a little ornery brat, but he's also cute and adorable, so it's hard to be mad at him.
Yeah.
But he does stuff intentionally just to make our big dog Holly. She's a Chow German Shepherd mix.
Ooh.
And she is the most emotionally distraught dog I've ever met in my life. She cannot, she just has that constant, like, poor me sad face, like Eeyore. And, but it's like she, she loves being outside and playing and stuff, but she always wants to be where she can see one of us.
Yeah.
And Sailor will when they're inside, Sailor will intentionally go and grab one of her toys just to draw her away from us. And then he'll come jump in your lap. And that will just make her so mad. And it's just funny. He does stuff that he knows will just make her mad. And, but yeah, she's really cute. They're both rescues. We rescued them both. And Holly, we're assuming from what the adoption place said, that she's about 4.5.
Yeah.
But Sailor is 7 years old and 5 or 6 or 7 now. And he's little, and little dogs tend to live a lot longer. So
yeah,
we're hoping that they stay healthy for a long time. But the problem is they like to get into stuff that they don't necessarily know what they're eating. And we have some weeds that grow here that if you're not on top of it, your dog will eat it and get sick. And then
Yeah.
we also have rattlesnakes, and that's my biggest fear is I don't like ticks and I don't like rattlesnakes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so, that's like, I've been told that rattlesnakes tend to stay away from yards that have dogs in them, but we've had some instances where dogs have been bit.
Yeah.
I had a boxer when I lived in Seattle, and he was such an adorable dog. I absolutely loved him, and he got bit by a brown recluse spider, and that killed him. Yeah, I hate spiders, and we didn't know, or I didn't know at the time. Like the first thought that the vet and I had was that because he had gotten into the garbage, and I had had crab, and he
Yeah.
had eaten the shells. So we thought maybe he was having an allergic reaction to that.
Yeah.
But then after it was like a day or a day and a half later, his skin started sloughing off of his face.
Ooh.
And so she said that the only thing that can cause that is a snake or a spider, and we don't have those kind of snakes in Seattle. So she asked if I had a wood pile, and I said, yeah, there's a wood pile in the backyard. And so she's thinking that most likely he had kind of was nosing around the wood pile and got bit by a brown recluse. And that's what killed him. This amazing large dog was taken out by a tiny spider.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
I don't like spiders, don't like creepy crawlers, don't like anything that flies.
Yeah.
As in one of the crash, it was probably a year or more ago now, she decided to grab a moth and then persist on throwing it at me while I'm live on the crash.
Oh dear.
I crapped myself and disappeared sharpish.
All right. Well, I broke my sewing needle, so I'm out.
Bless. Well,
I'm glad we had some time this week to get together, because I know you've got a busy weekend. So thanks for.
no, it's all right. It's nice to actually get back and do the victory a bit more and
Yeah.
do one of these live buddy builds, because I know as soon as you get onto it properly, it's like you're just going to leave me standing.
Well, I do have the hind I have to get started as well, and the hind is going to be time consuming.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. So I love helicopters and I like and airplanes and stuff, but to me it's like I want to get to the fuselage and get all that put together and get the wings on, but you have to almost completely paint the interior and the cockpit first, and that to me the painting is my least favorite part, and so I dread it. So it's like on the aircraft I always end up getting kind of, I hit that spot where it's like you got to do all the paint work on the interior and the cockpit, and I'm like,
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Completely agree. I mean, I'm like you. I enjoy the building of them more than the painting.
Yeah.
Painting's starting to grow on me a bit.
Yeah. I need to paint those Verlinden heads that I got.
Yeah.
So
yes.
I primed them up, and I've been asking around about different paints, but I want to get a couple of the Vallejo paints that you were talking about, and then There was one other brand that you had that I thought was worth trying out. I'll have to go back and look at that.
Yeah. So that's what I got.
Oh, nice. So
Steve
that's
Vallejo.
the Vallejo.
Yeah, Vallejo painting set, face painting. And it comes with instructions how to do it.
Okay.
But there's a YouTuber, the Scale War Machine. He goes through it and he does a fantastic tutorial on face painting,
Nice.
figure painting. Certainly well worth the watch.
Okay.
I'll put mine away. But yeah, I followed him with one of the heads faces I got from Telford just to practice on, and it's turned out really, for my first proper time of doing it. I mean, I painted faces before, but not properly gone through it like this guy did. Following his tutorial, I'm really impressed with it, and certainly going to be doing the other ones and building on my skills and techniques.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to. I should watch that. I need to practice. I also have that RoboCop I need to paint and put together that Omar sent me.
Yes. Yeah.
And Mr. Spock. Except I don't like this head. I want to get the resin printed head for him because this one has like the most atrocious seam lines and stuff in it.
Oh, lovely.
And it just, and the face doesn't really look like it, kind of does, but not really. So I just don't know why they would, because you have to clean all this up and then try to rematch the hair. And so I think I'll just go with the resin printed one and then paint this one up just for practice.
Yeah.
And he's got a huge hole in the side of his head there.
Nice.
Yeah. But the base looks really good. The where I put all that putty in, around here. So what I ended up using was the Milli Putt, and first time ever using that, and I'm impressed with it because there were massive gaps.
Yeah,
you could stick a pencil through there, and so that's kind of been a fun learning kit to practice and learn on doing figures and bases.
Yeah, certainly good to get kits that you can practice on.
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, I've got no end of kits to practice on ready for the Missouri and the Titanic. But the thing I like about battleships is you don't have to light them. They don't have any visible light.
True.
So there's no drilling out of portholes or anything like that, because what's the point?
Yeah.
Paint it black and be done with it. That's how I see it. But say the Queen Mary, I'm going to go to town on that one. Obviously, put lighting and everything in it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to send it to Eric and get him to
drill all the
windows and everything out.
Yeah, that is an impressive kit, to be totally honest. I wish they made more ocean liners. Well, I mean, that's the only ocean liner, but like cruise ships and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few. Let's have a look.
Oh, and I also found a website. It's only here in the United States, though, that has all of that entire lineup of ships, the books on the battleships.
All right, yeah.
And they weren't that expensive. They were about 20. They were on sale for like anywhere from $15 to $18 per book. So I found that one on the Missouri that I really wanted, and I was thinking about getting that one, but I can't find anything here like in that book format on the hood. So I know I think there's a book similar to the one on the Bismarck but those are expensive. That book was like $50-$60. But I'd like to find one on the hood if you know of anything.
I don't know of any specific books. I do know there was a guy building the 1-200 one, and he mentioned something about a book. So I'll have a look back through his videos and see if I can find out what book it was.
Okay.
I can't even remember who he was, but Nigel knows him.
Okay.
So I'll have a look, see if I can find his channel and have a nosy and a butcher's through. See if he mentions the book.
Okay.
If not, I'll just message him.
Fair enough.
I say, my friend Kalan wants to know what reference book you got.
Yeah, he I don't know if he was joking, but at one point he offered me his 1-200 hood, and I was gonna ask him next time I see him if he was serious about that, but to ship it from the UK would be a fortune.
Oh yes.
And I think if I just wait, they'll be back in stock here, or I can get it from James, because I think James, no, he didn't have one maybe, I don't think he had the hood in stock. I can't remember, but I know he has the Missouri in stock, the 1-200 Missouri.
Yeah, he's got the Missouri, Scharnhorst, I think the Enterprise.
Yeah.
So have a word with him. And see what he can do.
The Enterprise, is that before the refit, or is it?
That's the original aircraft carrier. So that's the Second World War.
Okay.
CV6.
Okay.
And then they don't do the nuclear one in 1-200, but the 1-350 is like 4 foot long.
Yeah.
It's a beast. Yes. Mine needs to be repaired as well. The island is detached.
Oh no.
Yeah. So it's not fallen off, it's just screw whiff on the deck. So it just needs securing down again. And that's because every time I get up at stupid o'clock in the morning, I keep hitting my head on the woody shelf. So, yes, that is 2 hours, 10 minutes, look.
All right.
And we'll call it a wrap. Is that what they say in TV land? Call it a wrap.
Sounds good to me.
I'll hit the outro. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us and watching. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. I hit that now.
end.